My name is Kaylee, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about the latest news from Italy about a charred papyrus scroll that has revealed the location of Plato's exact burial place. So I'm guessing we all know who Plato is, right? Right? But no, without kidding, as not everyone knows this, Plato was actually born as Aristocles, and he was born somewhere between 423 and 428 BCE. He was born in either Athens or Aegina, which is one of the Saronic islands of Greece, and he died in 348 BCE in Athens. He was an ancient Greek philosopher of the classical period, considered a foundational thinker in Western philosophy, and he was a central figure in the history of philosophy. He himself was a student of Socrates, and he was also the teacher to Aristotle. Most people interested in ancient history know Plato from the Atlantis theory, Atlantis being a fictional island mentioned in Plato's works Timaeus and Critias as part of an allegory on the hubris of nations. But before I continue, I have a very special announcement in that I have teamed up with Epic Desk, a company that specializes in premium custom mousepads and desk mats to create me this custom full-size desk mat available for you guys for a limited time. We commissioned watercolor painter Ukrainian Fursic to paint one of my favorite places on earth that I've personally visited, a beautiful landscape next to the temple of Dendera in honor of the goddess Hathor in Egypt. So after using this desk mat for a few months now, I have to say out of all of the mousepads that I've owned in the past, this is one of the highest quality that I have used. As you just saw, the desk mat is large, which is perfect for my needs, and its thickness is exactly how I like it. It's made from great quality and the stitching looks impeccable. I'm really someone that gets annoyed at stitchings often, so for me to say that the stitching looks good means a lot to those who know me and who knows that I am really quite an extreme perfectionist, which isn't always the best thing. The colors of the desk mat are very vibrant, but not overwhelming. I've actually caught myself pushing away my keyboard and mouse, so I'm able to just stare at the desk mat for a while, when in all actuality, I should be working. I do, however, want to preface that this will be a limited edition drop, and so we will only be selling this desk mat for an extremely limited time. And you know, one cool thing about Epic Desk is that they never do any restocks on any of their designs once they are sold out. So be sure to get your order in today. And if you enjoy my channel, every purchase helps to support me directly to make this channel bigger and better for you. So check out the link in the description down below and go to Epic Desk and get yourself a beautiful looking desk mat. But back to the hunt for Plato's exact burial location, which has been ongoing for a very, very long time. It was known that Plato was buried at his academy in Athens, but the exact burial location was never known. Well, that is until now, so let's talk about that charred papyrus scroll that I mentioned at the start of this video. So the scroll itself originates from Herculaneum, which is located in the modern-day municipality of Herculaneum in Campania, Italy. Herculaneum was buried under volcanic ash and pumice, just like Pompeii in the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE. Just like Pompeii, Herculaneum is famous for being one of the few ancient sites to be preserved nearly intact, as the ash and pumice covered the town and therefore protected it against looting and the elements. So nowadays it is not as well known or famous as Pompeii, but Herculaneum was actually the first and for a while the only discovered Vesuvian city, as it was discovered all the way back in 1709. And Pompeii was only discovered in 1748 and identified in 1763. So in Herculaneum, more than 1,800 papyri scrolls were discovered in 1750 CE, in what is now known as the Villa of the Papyri, due to its unique library. Can you imagine a different name for that villa? These scrolls had been carbonized by the intense heat of the pyroclastic flows when the villa was engulfed during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. These papyri scrolls contain a number of Greek philosophical texts, and they come from the only surviving library from antiquity that exists in its entirety. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, reading these scrolls is extremely difficult, and there is a high risk of destroying them while trying to read them. So new techniques are constantly being used to make it able for us to read the scrolls without the risk of damaging or destroying them. So the advances in technology of the past few years made it able for researchers to read the contents of a scroll written by Philodemus of Gadara, and this scroll is named The History of the Academy. It details the academy that Plato founded in the 4th century BCE and gives details about Plato's life, including his burial place. So like I mentioned earlier, it was known that Plato's body was buried somewhere at the academy, but it wasn't known where on the academy grounds exactly, because the academy itself was already destroyed by Roman general Sulla in 86 BCE, which, as you can imagine, makes searching for Plato's body quite difficult when you don't exactly know where to look. So yeah, it's like a needle in a haystack. The researchers that studied the scroll and wanted to learn more about its contents used a variety of cutting-edge techniques. This included infrared and ultraviolet optical imaging, molecular and elemental imaging, thermal imaging, digital microscopy, and tomography to read the ancient papyrus. So the researchers at this point in time have been able to identify 1,000 words, which equates to roughly 30% of the text written by Philodemus on this scroll. So the researchers were able to read that Plato was buried in a private section of the garden at the academy reserved for him, near the so-called Museon, or small shrine sacred of the Muses. The text also revealed that Plato was not a fan of the music that was played on his final night on Earth. As he was laying on his deathbed with a high fever, he apparently found that the flute music played by a woman from Thrace had a scant sense of rhythm, as he apparently told a guest from Mesopotamia. I mean, he should have at least gone out with like a bang. Give him some good music. The scroll also revealed more information on how Plato was sold as a slave. For a long time it was thought that Plato was sold into slavery in 387 BCE in Sicily. But now we know that that was not actually the case. According to the scroll, Plato was sold as a slave in either 399 BCE after the death of Socrates, or in 404 BCE on the island of Aegina after the island was conquered by the Spartans. So this was not the only scroll of the 1800 scrolls found at the Villa of Papyri that's been deciphered this past year. As in the start of this year, another charred scroll was deciphered that was written by Philodemus. In this scroll, he is actually persuading the people who are listening to him to sort of relax, find good friendships, spend your time living in the moment and enjoying pleasures. Listen to Philodemus, people. These discoveries were made thanks to a €2.5 million grant from the European Union, the European Research Council, that was awarded in 2021. So this project, called the Greek Schools Project, is a 5-year study using various technologies and methods to help decipher these fragile papyri. So who knows what more they will uncover in these charred papyrus scrolls in the upcoming years. I do wonder if archaeologists will now try to actually find and excavate Plato's body at the Academy in Athens. That would be really dope. Yeah, I would like that. But I want to know what you think of the deciphering of these scrolls using the latest technologies, and, what do you think about Plato's body? Should we actually excavate it? Or should we just leave it? Let me know in the comments down below, and check out Epic Desk to get your own desk mat. If you enjoyed watching, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more of these kind of videos, click that bell icon if you want to be notified whenever I upload. If you haven't seen my previous videos yet, then click the card in the upper right corner, or click one of the links in the description down below, or click a video in the end card. And I would also like to say a massive thank you to all my patrons and my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me. You can now also support me through historywithkaylee.live. And I would like to make an announcement. I'm actually going to tour Turkey this year in October. from October 14th until the 25th. We are going to see Göbekli Tepe, the Sanliurfa Museum, we're going to Cappadocia and Derinkuyu Underground City, we're going to see Hattusa, we're going to see Sokmatar. It's going to be incredible, and you can actually join me in Turkey, so check out that link in the description down below. I'll make sure that it's very obvious, and if you want to join me, please get your spot on the tour, because these spots will probably fill up really fast, and I'll probably mention it again in the next video. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!